What is going on, my friends? Mike Walker here. Excited to have you with me. I've got a good one here for you guys today, and I know you're going to get a value from it and hopefully some things that you can immediately apply into your business. That's what we're always want to get you guys, right? It's just like actionable, implementable things that you can just plug and play as much as possible, right? So, what I want to talk to you about is what to do when things aren't working. This is a place that we can all find ourselves, regardless of your level of experience, regardless of your business model or whatever it is you do, however you monetize your expertise in the marketplace. The reality is that every once in a while, whether it be our fault or just the way it goes, the macro economy or whatnot, you're going to find yourself in a corner, in a between a rock and a hard place, right? That whole proverbial scenario. So, what I want to share with you guys today are actual four concepts, four paradigms, even that you can embrace to really help absorb some of the difficulties that you'll experience. And what I want to really emphasize here is that this comes from personal experience. I remember the day like it was yesterday, 2008. The economy was just completely imploding upon itself. Now, some of you guys may not have been around or in the business space back then. I know I'm kind of dating myself here a little bit, but 2008, I was staring at my computer screen at my office at the business, and I literally said out loud, I wish there was somebody that I knew that knew what to do right now because everything, like I said, was imploding. Every business around me was either shutting up their doors or complaining about sales being low or whatever, right? Things were really, really bad. And it was a pretty dire place to be. And what's worse is when you find yourself in that position and you don't know who to talk to and you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, right? Remember, this is 2008. So yeah, there was an internet, but we didn't have like business communities. There wasn't Facebook. There wasn't any way of like really networking beyond the local chamber of commerce or, obviously asking around. But as I'm looking around, everybody else is pretty screwed too, right? And so it really dawned on me that at that point, up until that point, I had really ridden a wave of economic success. We had basically experienced the full spectrum that you could experience as a business. Up to that point, I bootstrapped it from 1996 all the way to 2008. We experienced our first $1 million year in 2007, and then 2008 hit. So literally, the painful irony was that literally almost 12 months to the day, I was sitting at my screen and just looking at far too many red numbers in the P&L and realized, wow, like I don't know what to do. Everything that I had gotten to with this point or to that point had basically been, a mix of luck, good timing, great product, great marketing, but I didn't have any reliable systems to support any contingencies, what I call the unknown unknowns. And what I want to leave you here today with are four things that can help absorb some of these elements of the entrepreneurial experience that many of you have either already faced and are either in now or you're going to face them and you're going to need to know how to get yourself out of that scenario. And luckily today, I'm going to give you some things that I know will get you out of those scenarios faster than I did. Right. So I want to turn my months and years, even decades, into literal hours or even minutes for you as you apply these principles into your business. Right. So let's get started. Number one is I know this is a simple one, but I say this all the time with clients come on board here at the Wealthy Consultant. Expect that it's going to be hard. Just expect it. Do not come to the table all flabbergasted, like, oh my God, this is so hard. Like, what's going on? Yeah, it's called business. Business of business is tough, man, right? Like, being an entrepreneur is one of the most challenging vocations you could ever dive into. Okay. So, just no holds barred. Like, you have to understand you are in a very tough environment. Now, it's not a woe's me or, oh, should I give up? No, it's just, I need you to embrace it. Because here's the thing, frustration is the gap between expectation and reality. Expectation and reality. The farther away those two things are from each other, the more frustrated you are going to become. So I want to you to like sync these up. This is something I teach on a lot. You may have even heard me talk about this before because I really need to seep in. I'm not suggesting that you just like, oh, everything's good then, and I don't care if things are going bad. It's all good. No, no, no. I'm not suggesting that we be happy with the scenario, but we need to be in alignment with reality. You are not going to win the battle against reality, right? So just expecting, oh wow, yeah, okay, so this is one of those tough times that Mike was talking about. This is one of my times to really button down. This is one of the times that I can actually learn from and derive insights about maybe what is not so great about my business, right? Because here's the thing, my friends, like any business can do quite well when the economics are great and everybody's happy and spending money and it's all good. But when things slow down, when the restriction of capital starts to tighten down and people get more, holding on to their money tighter, basically, we really have to be aware of the fact that, it's going to show weaknesses in our business, right? And so it magnifies the issues. You can cover up a lot of inefficiencies with money and sales and just flow. But as soon as that flow slows down, as soon as that revenue stops hitting the bank, very quickly the cracks in your foundation are going to start showing. And it's not long between those where those cracks become crevices, crevices become gaps, gaps become failures. And that's when you have businesses completely fall apart on themselves. And it doesn't matter whether you're a brand new entrepreneur or you've been in the game for 2, 3, or 4 decades. Like these are first principles. These are things that it doesn't matter who or where you are. Like these are the absolute basics of business here. But we have to understand that we need to align ourselves with reality. Like, it is really frustrating, but I'm going to figure it out. This is just the business of business. All right. Step number one, expect it to be hard. Number two is higher quality questions. This is a big one. Once you find yourselves in a tough environment, it does not serve you to go, oh, why is this so hard? Or, man, how come this is happening to me? Why isn't it the way it used to be? These questions do not serve you. These are not going to help you get to the data, to the information, to the decision making point that you actually need. You need better questions. Higher quality questions beget higher quality answers. Okay. Higher quality answers, higher quality results. So, what do I mean by that? Well, instead of like, oh, yeah, this is really tough and man, I don't know what to do, you go, no, okay, what is the one thing that is under my control right now that I can do to move me one step closer to our desired result? What is the one thing in your control? There are going to be a lot of variables that you can't control. Again, remember my first principle, expect it to be hard and align with reality, right? Wow, there's a bunch of stuff that I don't like right now. Can't do anything about those things. So push those to the side and ask yourself, what are the things I can do? And then amongst those, what is the first, the number one, the highest leverage step that I can take? Is it just get through today? Like, let's just figure out how to deliver for this one client. Let's just figure how to make 5 more phone calls today, whatever it is, right? Like, you need to have clarity on what's that one highest leverage activity. Do not confuse the activity with productivity. They're not the same thing. Number three, anchor with data. Anchor with data. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing, especially for sophisticated entrepreneurs, people that have been in the game a long time, I'm a huge believer in gut, in energy, in excitement. Like when you feel something, right? You've developed, you have cultivated, and you have earned a internal like radar almost as an entrepreneur. You've been exposed to enough circumstances to kind of have that like red light go off or that green light go off, where you're like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but this feels right. There's a lot of truth to those things when you are sophisticated and experienced. But even when you are in really deep water, like you're really not sure what's going on or how it's going to go, lean on data. You have to get back to the data because here's the thing, emotions lie, but numbers properly calculated do not. You need to use data. Now, what do I mean by data, right? We need attribution. We need to understand what was it that was working in the past and how do we get there? How do we get there? And that's my step number four, attribution. Attribution. You have to understand, how did we get there? And then reverse engineer that. Well, we got our client from, word of mouth. Okay. But that's like what I call open and hope marketing, like as in open your inbox and just hope that someone sent you an email today that they're going to send you money, right? That does not work here. Even if you have word of mouth clients which is great, by the way, I'm not saying that that's not a good thing, but that's not under your control. You cannot be sitting around just like I was back in 2008 going, man, like I guess my sales were really just coming from momentum, from like goodwill, from the product doing well in the marketplace. But I really didn't have a mechanism for generating the clients. I couldn't put money into the market and then extract more sales, right? I didn't have systems in place for that. So we need attribution. We need to understand what is the sequence of events that will get me to that end result that we want. And again, even if it is word of mouth, then you really need to get serious about, how do we generate word of mouth? How do we systematize that? So every single client transaction that we have, every single conversation that we have leads to a possibility of a referral. If that is what your business hinges on, is other people talking about your business, then you better get damn good about figuring out how to generate that. Okay. Now, if you use paid ads, that's obviously easier. Well, spend money and get ads. Well, that's fine. But you need to understand what is winning. Because here's the thing, my friends, You know what's worse than losing and not knowing why? Is winning and not knowing why. Because if you're losing, not knowing why, you're like, well, we're losing. Like that's just not good, and we'll figure it out as we go, right? But if you're winning and you don't know why, that's really, really bad because you can never get there again. As soon as you stop winning, guess what? You're like, well, I have no idea why we were winning, so I can't get us back there. It's kind of like climbing a mountain without a map and then coming back and then trying to climb it again and go, well, how did you do that? Well, I don't know. We just kind of went and did it. You die on the mountain that way, right? I don't want you to die on the mountain here. You need attribution. All right. So those are the four. Let me recap really quick. Expect it to be hard. Just align with reality. Like get over it. It's hard. Yeah, it sucks sometimes. Don't paint roses and rainbows over everything, but just understand that, like, accept reality. Reframe your paradigm so that you can accept better information. That will tee you up to asking higher quality questions, which is number two, right? So align with reality, start asking higher quality questions that will generate an absolute, a measurable leverage point or a measurable action that you can take, that you actually can control. Do not give any kind of exposure to negative talk. It doesn't serve you. It's only going to drive you down further. Number three, anchor with data. Is if you ever find yourself like, man, this is really hard, you need data. You need to be able to go back to their books and go, look, if we call 100 people a day, we generate this many conversations. If we generate this many conversations, we turn it into this many emails or sales calls. If this many sales calls, it equates to this many clients. You know what I'm saying? You really got to know the data. If you don't know that, it's like, how do we do today? Well, we did great. We did a lot of sales. How? We just talked to a lot of people. Great. Well, how do you replicate that? Right. And that's number four, attribution. You need to know how you got there. How did you get to the top of the mountain? If you can do that, you can do it again. All right. All right, my friends, that's it. I hope hopefully this helps you. Like I said, these aren't, magic pills. They're not silver bullets, and they're not even that complicated. But common sense isn't common practice. Make sure you book these in, put it into your business, use them, systematize them, and monetize.